the debate that went on at the UN, it was like, these developed rich countries, those who define values.
Paul Kagame just said Western aid to Africa is a lie. Dr. Arikana exposed secret deals forced on African leaders. Captain Traoré vowed to fight the West head-on. But what do these three know that's shaking Western power to its core? And why is their unity so dangerous? And why are they so brave? Let's find out.
Traoré's revolution has exploded, globe showing Europe, Africa. And tonight, the world is watching as Paul Kagame and Dr. Arikana Chihombori-Quao step into the storm. Paul Kagame does not raise his voice. He does not shout, he does not wave banners. When he speaks, he does not perform. He simply delivers truth, sharp, measured, and unshakable. And this time, one sentence has sent tremors across Paris, Brussels, and Washington.
This question can only be asked in Africa, not in any other region of this world. Aid is more political than anything else.
Beside him stands Dr. Arikana, the fearless woman who has spent years exposing Africa's hidden chains. And at the heart of it all, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the soldier who has become a symbol of Africa's rebirth. This is not simply politics. This is not diplomacy. This is the rebirth of a continent. This is revolution. Paul Kagame has always been different. While other leaders grandstand, he is quiet. While some beg for aid, he talks of sovereignty. And when he recently spoke, his words shook the very foundations of the global order. He said, "Africa cannot be free while it depends on those who have no interest in its freedom." One sentence, calmly delivered. No fist-pounding, no screaming, just truth. And in that moment, Kagame crystallized what millions across Africa have been feeling for decades.
For me, when I'm watching on television, and I find our leaders who should have been working together all along to address these problems that commonly affect their countries, wait until they are invited to go to Europe to sit there and just... In fact, the image it gives is that we are not there to even address these problems. We are there for a photo opportunity. We are happy to sit there in Paris with the President of France and just talk about addressing problems.
A quiet rage, a hunger for independence, a desire to break free from invisible chains. It wasn't just Kagame speaking. It was Africa through him. Why did this one line send panic across Europe and America? Because it was not theory. It was reality. It was coming at a time when the fire of revolution was already spreading. A time when Captain Ibrahim Traoré had ignited a new movement of courage, defiance, and sovereignty. When Ibrahim Traoré stepped forward to lead Burkina Faso, few outside Africa took him seriously. Just another soldier, they said. Just another coup. But what the skeptics could not see was the hunger burning in his people. The rage against exploitation. The fatigue of being treated as beggars on a land of diamonds, gold, and uranium. Traoré did not speak like a polished politician. He spoke like a man who had lived the struggles of his people. Raw, direct, honest. He declared that Africa must stop waiting for handouts. He declared that resources must serve the people, not foreigners. He declared that sovereignty was not negotiable. And the youth listened. The farmers listened. The workers listened. In Traoré's voice, they heard their own frustrations and their own dreams. In his defiance, they saw hope. And soon, his revolution became bigger than Burkina Faso. It became a Pan-African cry. From Bamako to Niamey, from Conakry to Khartoum, the spirit spread. Soldiers saluted him. Crowds carried his portrait. Leaders in palaces whispered his name with both admiration and fear. Traoré's revolution was never meant to stop at borders. It was an idea, and ideas cannot be killed. And then, Dr. Arikana Chihombori-Quao, the woman who dared to expose the secrets no one wanted spoken aloud.
Our leaders are fully aware of the enemies to Africa's development, and yet somehow they're incapable of addressing them. We know when it comes to West Africa, the document that African countries were made to sign as they attained their quote-unquote independence, the document that's labeled the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. On one hand, we are giving you your independence, but on the other hand, we want you to sign this document, agreeing to continue to be colonized. And if you choose not to sign this document, in my pocket, I have a gun that has your name. So it is that Guinea and Mali, they chose not to sign the document. History tells us that France moved into those countries, poured concrete into the sewage pipes, destroyed schools, hospitals, roads, anything that could be destroyed, they destroyed. Anything that they could pick up and take back with them to France, they took. According to President Mugabe, they even took the last pencil.
She spoke of the colonial pacts that forced African nations to deposit their wealth in foreign banks. She spoke of trade systems rigged against African farmers and miners. She spoke of sovereignty not as a luxury, but as a right. Her voice resonated not only across Africa but in the diaspora, in Atlanta, in London, in Paris, in Kingston. She told the truth that textbooks erased. She said, Africa is not poor. Africa is being looted. And when Traore rose, Arikana's voice amplified his fire. Now, side by side with Kagame, she brings passion and clarity to a movement that is shaking global power structures. In Paris, alarms rang. In Washington, briefings were rushed. In Brussels, diplomats whispered urgently. Because suddenly, Africa was not just resisting. Africa was uniting. The West had always counted on division. One country resisting here, another silenced there. Leaders replaced, movements co-opted. But now, things were different. Traore lit the fire. Kagame gave it structure. Arikana gave it voice. This was no longer a local story. This was continental, global, and that terrified foreign powers. Symbols are powerful. They move hearts faster than policies ever could. Traore, the young soldier in fatigues, became the symbol of courage. Kagame, the strategist in a suit, became the symbol of discipline. Arikana, the firebrand in bright African dress, became the symbol of truth. Together, they formed an image the world could not ignore. Not one voice, not one leader, but a chorus, a movement, a revolution with many faces and one spirit. This was not about governments. It was about people. Across the continent, young Africans, students, farmers, traders, workers began to believe again. To believe that their future did not have to be defined by dependency. They marched. They sang. They debated in classrooms, on buses, in markets. On social media, millions shared Traore's words, Arikana's speeches, Kagame's quotes. Hashtags turned into movements. For once, Africa was not waiting for permission to dream. Africa was dreaming on its own terms. Foreign powers watched in shock. Some in panic. Others in curiosity. China saw opportunity. Russia offered support. Middle Eastern nations opened doors. For the West, this was a nightmare. For Africa, this was leverage. For the first time in centuries, Africa could choose its partners, not out of desperation, but out of power. And the message was clear. The era of dependency was ending. The age of sovereignty had begun. The story is not finished. It is only beginning. Traore, Kagame, Arikana, they are symbols, yes, But symbols must become systems. If Africa is to rise, it must build power grids, schools, industries, technology. It must turn slogans into steel, speeches into skyscrapers, dreams into dams. And the youth know it. They are not waiting, because this revolution is not just about leaders. It is about generations, about a continent that refuses to kneel, about a people ready to write their own story. History is not written in ink. It is written in blood, in struggle, in courage. And tonight, as Traore's revolution explodes, as Kagame speaks truth, as Arikana lifts her voice, history is being written again. The world may tremble, but Africa is rising.
When you go to our states, our lands are riddled with holes, everywhere in search of precious metals like gold, but often there isn't even the slightest accessible road to reach the areas where they exploit gold, let alone some basic social services. That's why we decided to revolt and take the destiny of our countries into our own hands.
In an interview with Jeune Afrique, President Paul Kagame made a rather bold statement. This was in response to the recent military coups in the Sahel region of Mali and Burkina Faso. Here is what President Kagame had to say. Those who carry out coups are not necessarily bad people. What matters is the project they embody. If the project is good for the country, I am all for it. And that statement has sent shockwaves across the continent and beyond. It literally means that Kagame supports military coups if they bring about positive change. We are going to break down each of those statements and why this is a very interesting topic. Welcome back to the channel. Before we start, please take the time to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any updates. Also, please support us by liking this video so that we can continue making more videos for you. Now let's get started. Kagame or shadow. Paul Kagame doesn't have to utter a word for his presence to be felt throughout the continent. His mere existence casts a shadow so large that it influences how other African leaders operate, especially in the volatile Eastern Congo region. But Kagame's influence extends far beyond the borders of the DRC. It touches every corner of Africa, whether through the Rwandan Development Board, the African Export-Import Bank, or even his own political party, the RPF, which exports its model across the continent. In fact, since he took power in 2000, Kagame has turned Rwanda into a regional hub, attracting businesses from neighboring countries and positioning himself as a key player in the region. You see, Kagame is like the quiet kid in class who doesn't draw much attention to himself, but when he speaks, everyone listens. That's because his words carry weight, especially when it comes to economic development and security. And in a world where diplomacy often takes center stage, Kagame's approach stands out. He doesn't make empty threats. He doesn't grandstand or throw tantrums. Instead, he quietly makes moves that get results. He has built strong ties with China and forged strategic partnerships that have helped Rwanda's economy grow by leaps and bounds. At the same time, he has kept the country safe and stable, something that many African leaders can only dream of. So while some may think of Kagame as a dictator, it is important to remember that he is also a highly effective leader who has brought real change to his country. From Kigali to Ouagadougou, Paul Kagame is on a mission to reshape the future of Africa. His vision extends beyond the borders of Rwanda, encompassing the entire continent and reaching deep into the realms of the African diaspora. And his recent visit to Burkina Faso is a testament to his unwavering commitment to this vision. Here's why. First off, it's no secret that Burkina Faso has been struggling. 2 military coups in less than 2 years, and a never-ending battle against extremist groups in the Sahel have left the country and its people feeling like they are in a never-ending crisis. Even though there were doubts about Kagame's visit and what it would bring, he went ahead anyway. This shows how serious he is about helping Burkina Faso. In fact, during his visit, Kagame didn't hold back. He laid out his ideas for how the two countries can work together to help both Rwanda and the African continent. He also showed how Rwanda is doing well economically and socially. One of the things Kagame talked about was the need to stop the fighting in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This conflict has been going on for a long time and has made a lot of people suffer. Kagame thinks that the best way to end this conflict is to work together. He told everyone at the summit that there will be no quick fixes and that it will take time and effort to really fix the problem. But he also said that it's important to stay hopeful. Despite the challenges, Kagame is optimistic about the future of Rwanda and Burkina Faso. He believes that if they keep working hard and stay committed to their goals, they can create a better future for themselves and their families. Kagame's game plan. During his visit to Ouagadougou, Kagame made a significant announcement, revealing his plans to establish a logistics base in Burkina Faso. This revelation came as a surprise to many. The establishment of such a base could bring both opportunities and challenges for the landlocked West African nation. So here are 5 possible scenarios that might play out. First, the security situation in the country could improve. As a prominent figure in regional security, Kagame's decision to set up shop in Burkina Faso signals his commitment to addressing the security challenges that have plagued the nation. The presence of Rwanda's logistics base could potentially enhance regional stability, boosting investor confidence and paving the way for greater economic activity. Second, Rwanda's logistical prowess could boost Burkina Faso's trade. As a key player in regional trade, Rwanda brings with it a wealth of experience in optimizing supply chains and streamlining logistics operations. By leveraging Rwanda's expertise, Burkina Faso could find new and efficient ways to move goods to and from its borders. Third, employment opportunities for Burkinabe citizens could increase. The establishment of the logistics base is expected to create job openings in various sectors, from logistics and transportation to hospitality and services. This influx of jobs could help alleviate unemployment, reduce poverty rates, and contribute to the overall socio-economic development of the nation. Fourth, Rwanda could assist in the development of human capital in Burkina Faso. Through knowledge transfer and capacity-building initiatives, Rwanda could share its expertise with Burkinabe citizens, fostering self-sufficiency and sustainable development. This collaborative approach to development could prove instrumental in addressing some of the most pressing challenges facing the nation. Fifth, the bilateral relationship between Rwanda and Burkina Faso could strengthen. This renewed cooperation has the potential to forge a strong bond between the two nations, opening doors to increased cultural exchanges, educational collaborations, and diplomatic support on the international stage. The Unseen Alliance. It's like they read each other's minds. Both Kagame and Traoré are on a mission to transform their nations, and they know that education is the key. Here's what's happening in both countries that's making waves. In Rwanda, Kagame's government has been investing heavily in education, rolling out programs that have seen massive improvements in literacy rates and access to quality education. They've even gone digital, embracing technology to deliver lessons in remote areas and making sure that no child is left behind. Talk about a smart move. Meanwhile, Traoré is on the same wavelength. His government is pushing for reforms that make education more relevant to the needs of the job market, focusing on practical skills that young people need to succeed. They also investing in teacher training and making sure that schools have the resources they need to give students the best education possible. Now here's the interesting part. The two leaders have a unique connection. They speak the same language, literally. Both Kagame and Daka are fluent in French, which helps them communicate easily and build a strong relationship. And that's important because they're taking on similar challenges in their countries. Education is a big part of their plan to make their nations stronger and more successful. By working together, they can learn from each other's experiences and come up with even better ways to improve education for their people. For example, Rwanda has made great strides in girls' education, with more girls now in school than ever before. Rwanda can share its strategies with Burkina Faso and help more girls get the education they deserve. And Burkina Faso has a lot of experience in vocational training. It can share its expertise with Rwanda and help young people get the skills they need to get good jobs. It's a win-win situation. Plus, they're both on the same page when it comes to tackling corruption. Neither leader wants to be in power just for the sake of it. They want to make a positive impact on their people and leave a lasting legacy. By working together and sharing their experiences, they can make real progress towards a better future for their nations. Now let's turn the tables and hear from you. What are your thoughts on Kagame's journey from Kigali to Ouagadougou? Do you think his presence will spark positive changes in Burkina Faso? Share your insights in the comments below. Let's engage in a lively discussion. And don't forget to stay tuned for more insightful content. Thank you for watching.